I want to take a few minutes today in explaining to you some of the science that is behind the fundamentals of Vedic worship. In the Vedic way of life, and it is a way of life, not a religion, every single act, every single thing we do, from eating to sleeping, everything has a spiritual significance, and we look at everything from the spiritual angle. It is very common in our land that every day people do puja of some kind, and even to the extent that when we get something new, it could be a vehicle or it could be a new house, every single time there are some things that almost all of us do. So I just want to look at some of those very fundamental things without getting into the depths of Vedic worship. The very first thing we do is the offering of Haldi or turmeric. So when you do the puja, at the beginning, if you want to look at the Samskrita words, they say Haridra Churnam Samarpayami. That is what is said, that basically means that the first Mangala Dravya that we offer is Haldi or turmeric. The second thing we offer, and it has to be done in this particular order, the second thing we do is a Kunkum Churnam Samarpayami, and we offer Kunkum. That is the second thing that we do. After that is done, the third thing we do is Sindhoor Churnam Samarpayami, and Sindhoor, that is what is offered. These three steps are very, very common all across the country, no matter what we do, what type of worship we do. Another common aspect of the Vedic worship is the offering of chandan or the lepana of paste from a sandalwood tree, Shrigandha lepana. And one other aspect, last aspect I'd like to look at in this short time that we're going to be talking about this, is the offering of pushpamala, that is garland of flowers. And the question is, why do we do these things? Oftentimes people just do it without any understanding of what is going on. And the thing is, for anything to be a karma has two parts, kara and ma. And action, physically doing something, that action is the kara part. Ma, the dhatupatha in Sanskrita, ma, the root meaning is knowledge. So for anything to actually become karma and not just karya, or not just action, physical action, it is very important that it is always in the background, the intention and knowledge of what we are doing should be there. Otherwise it just becomes physical action. So there are three things that we always talk about: kaya, vacha and manasa. So kaya is the physical action, vacha is the speech, and the third one is manasa, that is the thought that is there in the mind whenever we do anything. So we can learn how to do something physically. We can also learn some mantra that goes with that. But it's the third part that is often missing. That is, what is manasa, what is happening? Kaya, vacha is fine, but manasa, what is happening? So if the mind is actually somewhere else or doesn't know what exactly is going on, and if you blindly put some haldi, kunkum, sindhoor, whatever you do, the effect of that is very little, because you're not really taking it all the way through to actually make it a karma, so that that phala from that karma actually comes to us. So let's spend just a few minutes talking about this. According to the Vedic tradition and the belief system, it's not just matter that has color, but energy also has color. So energy, oftentimes we talk of people with a halo around them, and they say that jnanis can look at a person, look at the color of the energy behind them, and know exactly what kind of person this is or what kind of thought process this person has, right? So energy having color is a very accepted thought in the Vedic tradition. If we accept that, then haldi or turmeric, which has yellow color of course, Physically also, even physically, the turmeric has this special property of being a disinfectant, and it will kill any unwanted things. Suppose you get a cut or something like that, you can use it as an antiseptic if you put haldi on top of that thing. The yellow color energy also has the same effect, except now we are talking about the mind, we're not talking about physical. So the energy part works on the mind, the physical part works on the annamaya kosha, the physical body, right? So what is this antiseptic energy, and what role does it play in the worship? Well, it turns out that we all know that when we do any worship, eventually we want something. We have some desire, we ask for something. Even though we say that I really don't want anything, you'll actually end up asking for something, right? So I know that kama, that is desire, is going to play a part in my worship process. That's part of my process. Whether I accept it or not, I'm going to ask for something. If not anything else, at least I may ask for blessings, I may ask for something good, right? It doesn't have to be anything bad. But a lot of times what happens is, when we ask for something, we really don't know whether that is actually good for us or bad for us. We don't know that. Eventually, in the future, we may find out that something we asked for, which we got, actually was more harmful than good for me. I don't know that at this point in time. So when I do the puja, the very first thing, when I offer haldi and say haridra churnam samarpayame and offer haldi, the thing is that when you look at the divine and the infinite, our thought is that whatever we offer is what we're going to get back, because it says in our scriptures that yatha upasate tadeva bhavati. So whatever we offer is what you will become. So when I offer this first mangala dravya, which is haldi, my thought is that at the first step, the very first step, please make sure that whatever else I'm going to do, whatever I do next, whatever it might be in this process of the Vedic puja, let it all be disinfected. So the second thing, when we offer kumkum, which is red in color, red represents kama, it represents desire. So whatever desire that is already disinfected that I'm going to offer, the thing is, when I offer that, when I do that as an offering to the infinite, my assumption is that that reflection of that will come back to me, so that whatever I ask for will actually be given to me. I'll be blessed with that. Suppose I do get it, so I make sure that what I ask for is not anything bad for me eventually. Secondly, I ask for something. There is a possibility that either I'm given that or I'm not given that. So if I'm not given that, there is nothing more to follow. But what if I'm actually blessed with whatever I asked for? Suppose I want a car, I want whatever I ask for. Suppose I'm actually given that. Then what happens is, oftentimes when we get something, we get obsessed with that. We get very, very obsessed with that. This may be true of people. Like, I can get obsessed with my wife, I can get obsessed with my children, my grandchildren, or even a physical object. I can even get obsessed with an idea or a concept. We get a certain idea, sometimes we get obsessed with that idea, we're constantly thinking about that, whatever that might be. Vairagya is an essential part of the Vedic way of life. So our thing is that saffron color, sindhura, saffron color represents vairagya. That's why you see sannyasis wearing saffron, right? Because they're supposed to have given up many things and they have vairagya. A lot of times we think that when you think of vairagya, that you have to throw away everything, you have to give up everything and go away and do some meditation or something like that. But the true vairagya, the actual vairagya, the true vairagya is when you don't have obsession with anything. That is the real vairagya. There is nothing wrong in having something, but it's very wrong to get obsessed about that and have an obsession about it. So the third mangala dravya that I offer, when I offer sindhura, I'm praying and asking and said, if you choose to give me what I asked for, that is up to you, but if you choose to give me that, then along with that, also please give me vairagya, so that I don't get obsessed with that, because someday when I lose it, anything I get, it could be a material object, it could be a person, we have a fixed duration. After the duration, either that person is gone, or I'm gone, or that material object is gone. There is going to be separation at some point. Anything that starts needs to have an end, and there is going to be a separation between me and this thing that was, this blessing that was given to me. So when that separation happens, I shouldn't get depressed, I should not get into problems. So when you don't have obsession with that, you don't have that. So these three Mangala Dravyas are very, very important in any Vedic worship. Another thing we do is Shrigandha Lepana. Shrigandha, as that word, the very word says, if you look at that Pada, that word Shri, Shri, if you do Nirvachana of if you break it into its different parts, Sha, Ra and E, when you put it together, it becomes Shri. Right? Sha, if you look at the Dhatu Patha, root meaning of these things, Sha represents bliss or Ananda. Right? Ra is enjoyment, Ramayat, it's enjoyment. E is Iyat, to give. Right? So that thing that gives you utmost enjoyment in bliss alone, whatever gives you utmost enjoyment in bliss is Shri. Gandha, you know that there are 5 objects of perception: Shabda, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha and Sparsha. So Gandha is one of the objects of perception. So when you look at this Shri Gandha, the thing is that what is it that will actually, Gandha is flavor, as the smell, right? So that the thing that I inhale, the thing that I smell, what should it be? So what is it that I'm offering? Well, it turns out that if you look at the Shri Gandha Mara, the sandalwood tree, if you take away the bark, if you look at the inside of that sandalwood tree, if you rub it on a rough surface, then what happens is that, and you add a little water to that and keep rubbing it, that is how you get sandalwood paste. So this body, this sadhana sharira, whatever happens through that is represented by, even in the Vedic things, many places they refer to that as Ashwatthama, inverted Ashwatha. So the actual bark of a tree is representative of this Annamaya Kosha, this Sharira, this Sadhana Sharira, this physical body. So whatever I do with this physical body, morning till night, I go do so many things. Whatever karma, whatever I do, every single day, and that is grinding work. I work hard every day. All of us work hard day in and day out, wanting something. Why do we do all these things? Because sometimes we do it because we have to earn money. We want something so that, or we want to enjoy something. So that Rajasic component is represented by water. So this grinding, when it's combined with the Rajasic component in life, my wanting to enjoy or earn money and all these things, that grinding, that whatever comes out of that we offer to Bhagavanta and say that let this be as fragrant as this Shrigandha Lepana that I am doing. Because if he blesses, Yatha yatha upasteta deva bhavati, if that comes back to me, then what happens is every single thing I do, not only to me, but to the whole universe, will have a beautiful fragrance. And that is the kind of work I want to do, where whatever I do should have very good fragrance to the entire environment, to everybody who's around me. Last thing I want to talk about is the garland of flowers, Pushpamala. It's very common in our tradition to always put a mala. We put a mala around a murti, for example, right? Because why do we do that? Well, the reason for that is the mala itself represents bandhana. It's not just, we just put some flower that represents bandhana. But if you put a mala, that mala, when you put it around the neck, is bandhana. They do it to cows. Even when a man and a woman get married, they tie Mangal Sutra around the lady. So this tying around the neck represents bandhana. So I'm praying and say, let there be bandhana. Voluntarily I'm asking and say, please give me bandhana between you and me. But excuse me, but what kind of bandhana should I want? That bandhana should be as soft and as fragrant as these flowers. So I want bandhana, but the kind of bandhana that I want between me and him is that soft and fragrant bandhana. So these are the most fundamental, without going into any depth, this is the most fundamental thought, the manasa part in the kaya vacha manasa. Those should be my intentions when I actually offer all these things during my worship. And if I do that, like I said before, the Veda says, yatha upaste tadeva bhavati. So you will actually be blessed with that, so that our worship actually is meaningful rather than just a physical activity. Thank you.